squat group. So what we're going to do today is, it can be high intensity, it can be higher intensity depending on how hard you want to go with it. But today what we'll do is we'll get a full warm up, a full rollout, a full warm up, and then we're going to do a 15-minute kind of, I would say as many rounds as possible, but I think that the focus should not be so much on that, but just on really good quality. And I'll tell you how it's going to go. But the basic format of the circuit this morning is going to be probably about a 15-minute warm up and then 15 minutes of work. And we're out in 30 minutes. You get what you need to out of it. So if you want to go hard, you can go hard. If you want this to be a lighter intensity day for you, there's a lot of like mobility stuff built in. There's a lot of kind of core and good solid work all around. So get what you need out of today and we'll go from there. Okay. So let's get started on the roller as usual. Starting off on the front of your shins again. So we'll put the outside of your shin on the roller. So you're rolling down the soft part of the outside of your shin. You can even roll all the way over and get kind of the extreme outside of your shin. There's a lot of tendons and ligaments that run down there. And especially like if anybody has knee pain, those ligaments, being tight in those ligaments can have a lot to do with it. Can have a lot to do with it. So we roll down the outside of your shin. Should be on the second leg by now. Good, let's move the roller above your knees. And now we're rolling the front of your leg. So just rolling your thighs from your knees all the way up to your hip bone. If you need to roll over to one side to get there, that's a good idea. You don't squish anything. All right, let's roll over. Go ahead and sit on the roller. And we'll roll your cheeks here, rolling back and forth. All right, so here we're going to roll over on your side. So you're going to be on like in between your hip bone and the crest of your hip. So kind of right where your waistband would be. All right, and so not only are we going to roll kind of up and down a little bit, I'd like to see us just sort of wiggle a little bit back and forth. So you're going to kind of wiggle opposite of the way the roller goes up and down between your hip bone. I guess the little wiggle would be forward and back. So we're starting to loosen the tissue up in a different direction. So not only are we kind of smashing it up and down, we're also starting to wiggle in a different direction. So it just pulls the tissue in a different way. Again, it's just a different way to like loosen things up. So we're going to make your way all the way across your back. So all the way across your sacrum, or that flat part right above your butt. Just kind of shifting side to side. So again, it's all about moving in the direction that the roller won't. We're moving in the direction that the roller doesn't. Good, let's go ahead and sit on top of the roller. You're going to bring your heels in as close as you can to the roller, sort of like in this deep squat position. Some of you will be able to get into this deep squat position. Some of you won't need the roller. If you don't need the roller, you can go ahead and move it. But for most of us, we're going to need a little help. So I'm kind of sitting on the roller here. but a lot of my weight is in my feet as though I was in a really deep squat. So we're just gonna sit here, and then we can put your hands together, put your elbows on the inside of your leg, and just sort of push out. So here you should think about pushing your tailbone out and back. So don't let yourself like round under. You shouldn't have your butt rounded under you. We're gonna try to push your tailbone back, sit up nice and tall, and we keep that rounding out of your low back. All right, good. From here, let's put the roller underneath your shoulder blades and roll back and forth. This thing's dead.
That one I get stuck on.
Yeah. And let's roll, put your hips on the floor. You're just gonna roll over to one side. Okay, you're gonna roll your lat, which is the muscle kind of along the side of your ribs there. You're gonna stay underneath your shoulder blade. So you should be at the bottom edge of your shoulder blade here. You shouldn't have the roller up in your armpit. You should have about a hand's width between your armpit and the roller. So you're gonna keep the roller down by the bottom edge of your shoulder blade, the lower part of your shoulder blade. We'll roll back and forth. All right, let's switch to the other side. The last thing using the roller here, we're gonna put your shoulders, like put the roller right around the bottom of your shoulder blade. So you're just sitting here. Hands are gonna come up behind your head and support your head. All right, so we're gonna do a little mini sit-up, but the part of your back that's on the roller is gonna be the pivot point. So you're just trying to pivot that one spinal joint that's on top of the roller. And then move yourself down just a little bit. Think 1 or 2 joints. And we do that same little sit up again. This should be pretty gentle. Anytime we're working with our spine, we want to make sure that it's you're not super rough, but we're just trying to mobilize individual joints here. So you'll do about 5 little mini sit-ups at each spot. And moving all the way up towards the top of your shoulder blades. As you get higher, you might need to raise your hands here so that you get a little bit more weight above the roller, and that'll help you kind of arch over it a little bit easier. Good, let's take the roller, put it next to you. You're gonna prop your leg up on it here, we'll roll. First thing, we'll roll the inside of your leg here. Again, the goal with all of this rolling is to kind of get a once over on all the tissues, just so you keep them moving over each other well, keep a lot of the stiffness out. All right, let's go ahead and prop that leg up on top of the roller. So right now I'm resting my knee and my foot on the roller. Okay, so it's a pretty relaxed position. Fingertips are gonna go together. We're gonna open up, trying to turn your chest up towards the ceiling. And we close. As you close, make sure your fingertips touch together. That's what makes sure that we're moving your upper back, not just flopping your shoulder out there. Right, so it should be closed, touch your fingertips together and open. We're gonna do that 6 times each side. It's also helpful if you inhale as your hands are closed, exhale as you open. Let your head follow your hand, so you want to watch that hand open up. So we initiate the rotation from your upper back, from your upper body. Okay, switching sides. We're gonna roll first. So you can kind of feel your way through this. Again, we want to try to give each part of your leg a once over. But if you find a spot that needs a little more attention, feel free to hang out there and move the roller over it. Just try to get it to relax. All right, let's go fingertips together. We're going to open up 6 times. As you're opening up, check in, make sure the roller isn't moving. You can also do this, if you don't have a roller, you can also do this with any kind of couch cushion or whatever you got lying around that can prop your leg up. Remember, we're exhaling as you open, inhale as you close. All right, roll it over to your back. You bring one knee in towards your chest, pushing your hips up to the ceiling. Let's do 10 glute bridges here. Make sure you're pushing your heel down through the floor. Your whole foot's going to be on the floor, but your heel should be pushing down through the floor. Good, we're going to roll over to a push-up position. Just holding this push-up position, just going to move forward. Then you're lifting your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Let your heels drop. So this is kind of just a push-up position to downward facing dog. So as you push your hips up, try to reach your tailbone up for the ceiling. Then we're coming back into that push-up position. Let your heels drop. And good. Let's bring one from the push-up position. Let's bring one foot up in front for a pigeon stretch. So you're bringing this foot up and across in front of you. Should be getting a stretch in the outside of your hip here. If you're not feeling it in the outside of your hip, you can take your foot and move it forward. Yeah, go ahead and switch. We're just holding the stretches. Should be on the second leg here. Okay. Good, so let's go ahead and stand up. We're gonna do a stretch and a balance challenge here. So the stretch is you're gonna grab your shoelaces, right? So we're here for a quad stretch. The balance challenge is we're gonna try to go from here and do an SLDL. So we hinge down and come back up. Okay, if you need a little wall help, situate yourself how you can, or so that you can give yourself a little bit of help. So we're keeping that stretch on the quad and we're hinging over. We're gonna hinge 6 times. Once you get your 6, go ahead and switch legs. Okay, working into a 2-way lunge here. So we're gonna take your right leg and step forward. Then we're gonna take your right leg and step out to the side. So right leg steps forward, right leg steps out to the side. Let's do 5 of each of those lunges. So we step forward, out to the side, that's 3. and we work to the other side. So step forward with your left, step out to the side with your left. Okay, so we're through warm up. I forgot to put the exercise in the chat, but you should find it pretty easy to follow because the movements all sort of flow into one another. So this is going to be a left and right circuit, right? So there's 4 exercises. You're going to do all 4 exercises with your right hand, with the weight in your right hand. Take whatever break you need. And we'll start all 4 exercises over again on your left hand. Like I said, you're going to have 15 minutes here, so you're just working what you want, or putting what you want to put into that 15 minutes, working all of that in. So we're going to start with everybody's favorite, Turkish get-ups, right? Pick a weight. I'm not sure which will be the limiting factor for you guys, the Turkish get-up or the shoulder press. Okay, so whichever of those you hold less weight for, pick that weight. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to do a Turkish get up, which, just a quick refresher course, whatever hand is holding the weight, that leg is going to be up. So that knee is up. Push that weight up towards the ceiling. Come up to your hand. Bring your knee underneath you. And we stand. Okay, so you're going to do 2 Turkish get ups, right? 2 Turkish get ups. On the second Turkish get up, you're just going to, you'll be up here like this. So from there, you're just going to do 5 shoulder presses. Okay, 4 or 5. Let the weight drop down. Keep it in the same hand. SLDL, so whatever leg or whatever side you're holding the weight on, that leg is going to go back. Okay, and the last movement is you're just going to step that foot back and row. Okay, so 4 movements. Okay, then you're done with the 4 movements. Put the weight down, and then we.
And 5.
Yeah, so then we start from the beginning. So the numbers are 2 Turkish get-ups, and then 5 of everything else. 2 Turkish get-ups, 5 shoulder presses once you get to the top there, and the weight's just going to come down. 5 SLDL, and on your last SLDL, you'll just stay down there and do 5 rows. Okay, so I'll put that in the chat just in case you need it here. But we're going to set the clock for 15 minutes, and I'll do some coaching along the way here because sometimes Turkish get up can get confusing. Just remember, you're going to hold the weight in your hand, in one hand for all 5 exercises or all 4 exercises, and then switch hands and repeat. Okay, and we'll just keep going back and forth until we get 15 minutes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start the clock, starting with Turkish get-ups. Right. So off we go. I'll put them in the chat here just in case we need the numbers. And we're on the clock. Row. Turkish get up. Shoulder press. SLDL and row.
just drop it on your hip then?
So it's gonna end up kind of being 1.5 Turkish get ups. So after you've done your first full one, that means up and down. You're just gonna go up and stay up for the shoulder press. So you don't have to go down on the second Turkish get up. Everybody's looking good. So lots of mobility stuff lots of mobility work with the get up. We haven't done those in a while, actually. I'm kind of noticing that. But lots of mobility work. You can manipulate the weights as you need to if you have the equipment at home. Otherwise, even if you don't use weight or have weight for this, still great mobility work, lots of core stuff, lots of shoulder stability. We're just moving from one big movement to the next here. We'll use this. Sure. It's wildly uncomfortable. Oh my God, that hurts this morning. If you want to find a way to make the SLDLs feel challenging or feel more challenging, depending on the weight that you're using, just try to do them really slow with perfect balance. Okay, so as soon as you start to slow them down, they become a little bit tougher. Ten minutes left here.
You all right, buddy?
Just do that. No sense in doing it.
His butt.
Another thing on the Turkish get up, as you're doing the get up, whatever side you're holding the weight on, that foot's going to be flat on the floor. That foot's going to stay planted. The other goal is to try to, as you're sitting up, as you're initially getting up from that lying position, try to keep your other heel glued to the floor. So the leg that's straight should be other side. So the leg that's straight and on the floor, you're going to try to keep that heel on the floor as you go to sit up. Switch your knees, go. Switch your leg. Lots of control there. Oh, don't let yourself flop around. Good morning, Rhonda. Good morning, Lucy. Didn't see you guys jump on. No need to answer, just saying hello. What is cracking? How many sets have you done? Again, we're just moving through this morning. Go at your pace. It's real easy to kick the intensity up here if you want it. Just roll through these quicker. We're beyond halfway. We've got 7 minutes to go. Amy's throwing the kettlebell snatches in there because she needs a little bit more this morning. I see that. I like it. I'm afraid to do kettlebell snatches online, I'll be honest. Considering we haven't done them in the gym, it's all right. You can handle it though. You got it. Okay, we got 5 minutes left, guys. 5 minutes left. Again, you're putting the speed that you want into this. If you have equipment at the house, feel free to change the weight up to get what you need out of this. Either way, we're getting great mobility work, some core work, lots of good stuff going on. Good buffer. Keep your belly strong as you stand up. Three and a half minutes to go. So again, we're looking at most likely Tuesday, Thursday mornings are going to be a little bit lighter intensity. We've had a lot of people asking for some lighter circuits just to mix in. I think there's a lot of value to letting your highs be high and letting the lows be low. So these Tuesday, Thursdays will be just a day to move around, get a little bit of work done. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and all of the 5:30 circuits are going to be fairly high intensity. So you pick and choose your way through the week as your schedule allows. Two minutes left, everybody. These are hard to handle. Make sure you stay stable and sturdy with that weight. All right, last minute. Into the last minute here. And on foot. So just keep your foot forward. Step back to your right. 30 seconds. $15 seconds. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Good job, everybody. I got everybody written down here. So you guys are doing awesome. Thanks so much for coming out this morning and joining us live. I think there's a lot of value to that, even though, you know, some of you I can't really, some of you have the camera turned off, some of you I can't see everything, but there's lots of value in getting together and doing the work together. So good for you guys. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you tomorrow morning maybe.
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
You got it. Have a great day, guys.
You too. Bye.